welcome back to the channel, and today we are doing part 2 of the lightning speed draw. I will be working on the clothing mostly and finishing off the hair, and the next part will probably be finishing, well, fingers crossed, hopefully finishing off the entire drawing, if all things go well. This one's a little bit longer, but that's okay, we can get through it. So just working on the collar at the moment, which does seem like a really simple thing to do, but actually it took me quite a while to do this from memory, just because it's got all these little pieces that you kind of have to get in place. So I try a few different techniques to try and get all these, the ribbing, I guess you could say, in its place, but I think this technique works the best. And then I use the shape of the sort of rolled, the collar part of the collar, I guess, and sort of cut off the tops of those bits that go around the thing. Sorry if my commentary today is not the greatest. I am not feeling 100%. That's why there wasn't a video on Thursday. But I am doing my best with what I have, and that is a cup of tea, a brain that's not really working. It's quite late at night, and I'm desperate to get this video out for you guys. So yeah, my cup of tea is helping. I've got a roll of toilet paper as my tissues because my nose keeps getting extremely agitated, which is frustrating as hell, as you can imagine. But I'm pushing through it. So if you're wondering why I sound like I'm choked up or have a cold, I kind of do, but kind of don't. It's like a thing that just comes and goes, among other problems that I've been having this week. So I'm doing my best. Thanks for supporting me anyways, or putting up with it, I guess. Yeah, so we do the collar in this video and the clothing. I had to do a heap of editing. I don't know what I was doing while I was drawing this, but I clearly wasn't paying attention because there's heaps of breaks. Yeah, so doing the collar, can't really think what else to say. Why don't I tell you about my weekend? It is Saturday, so it's not really much of a weekend, is it? What did I get up to today? Today I had a pretty late start, actually. It was really nice. I got to sleep in. Jonathan picked up the van for his courier run today, and then I helped him out with that. We went out for lunch with his classmates, which was supposed to be more than 2, but it was just the 2 guys, which is fine because they're really lovely guys. So we just had, what did I have? I had a karaage egg don, which is a fried chicken with egg on rice, which is amazing. I'm really wondering if I should have got curry. But that was really nice and warming, obviously. Yeah, and we just sort of chat about everything. One of his friends is a photographer, and so he was really interesting to talk to about sort of videography and photography techniques and things. Oh, I do love my toffee tea. Yeah, and we just had a hot chocolate this morning. It was really nice. It was actually quite a crazy day, although we got heaps done, and it was really tiring. It was crazy, kind of. Tomorrow is, well, I guess compared to tomorrow we have to do the last outfit for my autumn lookbook, and then I can get that out hopefully on Tuesday if all things go well this week. If not, it will be out next Tuesday, and I'll have to find something else to show you guys on Tuesday. Yeah, so as you can see, working on the wrist, I had a lot of trouble with this, actually. I tried to find an image that I could use as like a reference, but I don't really know what to type into Google to find it. Tried things like hand to chest, and then like holding a necklace. Sometimes if you find an image that's kind of right, you can kind of use that to find another image through like related images. I think that's the one I ended up using. Yeah, this is the one I ended up using to sort of get where the wrist is supposed to go, but even then I wasn't 100% happy with the placement of it. But that's, I do with what I can with my imagination. Couldn't really be bothered just taking a picture of my hand doing the emotion or the action that I wanted. But that probably would have helped. But at that point I was kind of like, yeah, I can't really bother doing the wrist again, so, or the hand again, so we just kind of go with that and hope it looks okay. This tea is 100% helping. I can tell you that. I'm struggling a little bit to as to what to talk about today in this video. Maybe I should tell you a little bit about the future of this channel, maybe. Although I don't really know what that is. I don't know if I've really talked about it yet, but yeah, no, I'm just keeping on schedule. This will be my 3rd week. Hang on, what week are we in? Must be my 3rd week. End of my 3rd week on the schedule. So I've almost done a month. End of next week, I've done a month on the schedule. So I'm really, really happy with my efforts and stuff. I do find it really hard that it doesn't really, like I don't get comments and stuff, but that's fine. That'll happen over time. And I'm more happy just to put out content and things. And it's pushing me to create things. And I kind of only have to do it I can kind of get away with it maybe like twice a week. And if I do that for a number of weeks and I'm doing like a really big one, like this one's taking up 3 parts because it's quite intricate, compared to like the Patamon one that I did a few weeks ago. So I don't really have to do it too often, which is quite good. I guess the editing of the video actually takes longer than not necessarily, but yeah, so what am I saying? I'm really happy with my efforts so far, basically, and I hope you're enjoying the vector art. It's something a little bit different. It's kind of hard to tell you exactly what I'm doing because I'm not really using that many tools and things. I kind of use the same tools like every time I use the same tools, basically. But I guess for this one, compared to the Patamon one that I did, it's all about sort of the color scheme or color palette, I guess. I kind of saw an image and I really wanted to use that, and I kind of saw the image and I thought, oh man, that would be a really good palette for this particular design. I was kind of wrong, I guess. It's probably a little bit too bluey, whereas the outfit's actually got more reds in it. But I really loved the blue with the pink, and the pink kind of reminded me of her hair, and then the blue reminded me of obviously her like shoulder pad and the gloves. And then I've obviously had to make up the colors for the other elements, which in some pictures are brown. I don't know if you can tell, but in the one next to it at the moment, it's more of a pinky color, her collar. And then in the one up above it, it's brown. So I'm not sure really what color they wanted. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be brown. So I think I got the right color there. Funnily enough, I ended up later on changing the palette anyway because I didn't really feel like it was the same color. I was using the same color palette anymore. It was really like made up. It was kind of the colors it's supposed to be, as opposed to using the colors in the palette, if that makes sense. And it's a bit more challenging when you use a palette as well because, excuse me, because you're kind of limited to the colors and you kind of have to just pick a color that's similar to the color of the design. The only hard part is, I guess, with using a palette on a already designed character is that you have to make the palette work, and it might not represent the character anymore. It might not be the same colors. It might just not look like them more. Yeah, it's a tricky thing to do. But yeah, anyway, I don't know when it happens, but I end up looking at it and I'm like, this isn't right. And I changed the colors, and I'm really happy with the colors afterwards because you can see it's quite green. Her overcoat type thing, it's really green and yellow at the moment. I don't like it. It doesn't represent, it's not really a white color like it's supposed to be. So I'm much happier when I change the colors, but you'll just have to wait and see for that. Yeah, her character design's not, the jacket's quite complicated, but it's not an overly complicated design, I don't think. But yeah, I think so far, I don't know if it's because the image is better or the image that I drew is better or not. But I think I've enjoyed the other one more, which I haven't got. Yeah, so we just changed the color palette now to as what you see on screen. It kind of, I don't think it quite gets to these colors, but yeah. Yeah, so I did her Lightning 2 outfit, or Lightning, I don't know what you call it. Her Final Fantasy 13 2 outfit, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I don't know if it's just the image I drew was much better, or it just worked better. But I mean, this one's been fun. I thought this one would be my favorite, but so far it hasn't really been my favorite. I haven't quite finished it. I find this one challenging to finish. But maybe once I come up with the background idea, I'll be happier. I might, at the moment, I kind of leave it grey. Well, at the moment it's sitting on grey, and I don't really like it as much. I'd like to bring in those blue hues. So hopefully in the next part, which, well, you definitely will see, in the next part, when I finish it, you'll see the background and things, and you understand what I mean. So yeah, we're just focusing on the colour palette now, and I'm much happier with it. It was really tricky, though, because you kind of have to go from the blues through to the sort of purpley colours to get to the pinks. There was no sort of center color to usually kind of start with a white and then kind of go out from that, as you can see on the other one. But I kind of wanted to keep it all sort of the similar sort of pastely hue. There's really no theory. Oh, there probably is, and I just don't know about it. But I don't really have a theory when it comes to doing this. I just like pick a few colors and then I work my way. Obviously there's certain colors I need, like I need the green, obviously. I need more than just 3 colors, more than just the brown, pink, and the dark blue. I need browns and, I need greens for a few different things as well. And the skin colors obviously as well, because you kind of have like a pinky hued skin color. It would just look weird. So I kind of have to I have to try and get from one end, like, going from blue to pink is actually really difficult, obviously, because you have to go all the way through to purple to get to the pink. And blue is a very cold color, whereas pink is a very warm color. If it was, say, to go between blue and green, obviously that's only a few steps. It's not as hard, and you don't get all these colors in between. So I don't really use the purples. I think I do a little bit for her hair later on. It's very pink at the moment, but it does get dulled down to that pastel color, and then it kind of brings in the palette a lot better. But as you can see already, it's kind of looking much nicer with the coat not being yellow, and sort of the brown at the top is not as intense or dull. It's not quite, like, it's not the exact same. It's not the exact color. It's not the correct color, I don't think. It kind of depends on what image you look at, though, as to what's the correct color. I guess it could look quite nice if it was more of the greeny colors, but I don't know, we can play around with that maybe before I finish it, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, but overall I'm happier with this color palette is where I'm getting at, basically. I hope that somewhat brief description helped you out as to how I do the palettes. It's only something I've started to do recently. I found it while I was doing pixel art for Jonathan's stream. He has a stream. So I made him a little pixel guy who kind of bobs up and down. It's supposed to be him. And while I was doing that, obviously you've got things like 8-bit, which used to be more, well, it used to be a problem more so in the olden days, back in sort of the 80s when gaming was just coming out and technology wasn't as good, and you could only have limited color palettes, similar to like 8-bit music, I guess, kind of. I'm not really, this is not my expertise, but basically you can only use a limited color palette. So with that, you had to get as much information as you could out of a few, 100 by 100 or 200 by 200 pixels. So you really want to tone in your colors, and that's kind of where this kind of thing has come from. And people still want to honor that era and to get pixel art looking right. So that's kind of where I've stolen the kind of, I don't know, format from, but it's not necessarily how you have to do it, or you don't even have to have your palette at all, but for me it's a bit of a challenge at the moment. So instead of just using my imagination, all the colors that I know, you see it's blue, green and grey, then you use blue, green and grey. But with the palette you kind of get more of a, I guess, a harmonized color, harmonized piece maybe. It's just, I don't know, that's the theory, I guess, but that's kind of what I'm going for, I guess. Whether or not that comes through, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, do love me a tea. I'm getting really into tea recently. I've had to, kind of been pulling in my diet a bit because especially when it comes into coming into winter, I tend to eat a lot more, and I eat a lot of hot food, and hot foods are generally not as light, I guess, in terms of like fat, and they're always quite heavy. And but you know, when it's a freezing cold day, like you want lasagna or you want a shepherd's pie or you want something warm and cozy. I guess tea is that kind of thing as well. But I just know that I'm going to start to eat all those sorts of things. I'm trying my best, and actually we're doing pretty well in terms of diet. Jonathan and I are both doing a bit of a diet. But I really like tea for sort of later at night after I've had dinner. It's kind of a calming thing, I guess. I never used to be a tea drinker. I was much more of a hot chocolate person, but you can't really live on hot chocolate. It's pretty bad for you. As I'm starting to learn as I'm getting older. It was fun when I was younger, but you could have one before bed and it would kind of calm you down and you could go to sleep. But now it's not really viable because the lot of sugar and milk at that time of night. So I'm loving tea at the moment. I love my sweet teas that smell like I'm drinking T2's Terrific Toffee. T2 Terrific Toffee tea. And it has a really nice sweet kind of it's a sweet fragrance, and the tea itself tastes like flavored water. I don't know. I still haven't kind of got like I haven't kind of got used to the tea taste, I guess. Earl Grey is quite bitter in some sense, and then you've got this Terrific Toffee, which is much sweeter, I guess. I don't like fruit teas though, so I'm not much of a fruit tea fan, I guess. But yeah, I'm loving my teas at the moment, my particular tea. I do need to find another one though, because I'm gonna get sick of this, and then once I get sick of it, then what else am I gonna drink, I guess. But yeah, that's my tea story for you guys. So we're just moving into the hair. Let's talk about the piece that we're working on. Just quickly, I'm just working on the hair and fixing it up and making it correct to the color palette. I was doing the more pinky purpley hues that I had created, but actually in the end I go for the ones that are closer to the orangey colors from the original, or the peachy orange from the original image that the palette was created from. This is quite a tedious job. I ended up fixing up all the layers because obviously I wanted some pieces of hair in front and some behind the ear and some behind the head. So I ended up fixing up all the layers, and while I'm at it, I think I fix up her head as well. It's looking a bit fat. And it just wasn't quite looking right. She's looking very Michael Jackson-y, and her face is much longer, and just doesn't look great. And it helps to put in those shadows, I think. I just make some very light shadowing on her cheekbones and things, just to give her face some dimension, I guess. One thing I would like to work on in this one is maybe some shadowing, I guess. I know with vector art it's kind of flat and things, but there's kind of no depth. Oh my god. Sorry, you can probably hear my chair. It's creaking in the background. Sorry. But I just not 100% happy with the shadowing in this one and the highlights and things. That's something I will work on, obviously. And I put a little bit more effort into these. But I mean, when I start with a sketch, I basically get the outline, and then I just work with the outline to make what I make, basically, and I don't really think about shadows and lighting and things, but I probably should. There we go, fix her face. Now she looks maybe more Michael Jackson-y, I don't really know. You may see that just before was the Lightning Final Fantasy 13-2 version of Lightning, that I did, but I haven't got it on camera. I'm really gutted. I really wish I got that one on camera. But I started it like ages and ages ago, and then I finished it. And at the time, I had drawn her 13 character and her 13-3 as well. But I just really wanted to start with the other one first. Yep, so we're just fixing up the eyes. I'm going to go back and forth. I think I'm procrastinating at this point because I know I've got other things on the piece that I need to do, but I tend to do that. I just play around with things. I do like the orangey, giving her eyes a bit more of a not depth. She's really kind of dark, gloomy eyes. I don't know. You can kind of see it more in her, some of the other drawings of her, I guess. But yeah, just fixing up the eyes, playing around with them, playing around with some different makeup, doing some in the shadowing and stuff. And yeah, so just getting there very, very slowly. I still haven't fixed her hair color though. It looks really awful at the moment. Oh, got a cup of tea. Maybe I'm just enticing you guys to go have a cup of tea. Yeah, I still need to fix her hair though. God damn, that looks awful. It's so bad. Oh, we get rid of the background finally. Yes, that makes it look so much cleaner already. There we go, fixing up the hair. And I think once the hair is fixed, it starts to, I think it fixes up the whole thing a little bit and bring it into the same palette. We do fix her eyebrows as well, which I just noted they are very, very pink. There's still heaps to do on her hair. I think what I ended up doing with the hair is, we're just fixing up the layers, like I said earlier, just to get them all in the right place. I think with the hair we put a gradient like I had done for the other piece I have done. I think the gradients work really nicely with hair. Oh wow, she's looking strange. Yeah, so it looks a bit, I don't know if I like the hair in this piece. She does have a bit of like a faux hawk kind of thing going on. Not as elegant, I guess, or yeah, it's hard to put my finger on that one. Maybe it's too spiky, and then it's kind of like spiky, and then super girly, but it's kind of what her hair looks like. It's kind of how we've designed it. Although it depends on the image that you look at, as I look at the images on the other side. Yeah, as I mentioned in my other video, for this one I use a lot of, instead of having my references, which is basically Google image search, on my other screen I put on, next to this one, mostly because it was a vertical piece anyway, so I didn't really need the whole screen. And you guys can see where I get what I'm looking at while well, not necessarily the whole time, but the sort of things I look at for references and stuff. And it's literally just Google image search. So you can see some of the images there, some official, some unofficial. I don't know if you can see the one with her in the black with like the plaid shorts and the handbag. Fun fact, that is a Louis Vuitton collaboration with Final Fantasy, or Square Enix, sorry. They basically used lightning as like a fashion model because the art is so realistic that you can kind of get away with it. And they were just promoting 13.3. No, possibly after that, I think. But I was in Japan at the time, and it was the very first time I'd ever seen it. And it was on the side of a building basically, and it's this giant billboard with lightning, and I'm like, but why is she wearing a handbag or whatever the hell? There's a few different outfits that she's wearing, and she just looks ridiculous. So basically, long story short, because I just realized I'm running out of time, is that, yeah, it's like one of those only in Japan kind of moments. It was so strange. I don't know. Anyways, we're just doing the last of the ribbed collar, or her like undershirt, I don't even know what you'd call it. But yeah, it's like a ribbed shirt type thing. And yeah, so we're just doing that. I find that I did a few different things to get this looking right, but I think in the end it looks okay. The spacing's not perfect, but I think you get the idea anyway. It looks fine from far away, so I think it's the main thing. Anyways, that is pretty much it from me for this video. Sorry for the ramblings. I did my best today. I'm pretty tired. I'm pretty happy to get this out and continue on with this next week. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment below if you really enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions for me, I would absolutely super duper appreciate it. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.